everybody. What is up? It is your friendly neighborhood physical therapist, Dr. Ryan Welton, coming to you live from just outside the Tampa Bay area. If you're new to following me, I got a clinic where I call it the Unfilled Everything Clinic because I hear that a lot. And I get exceptional results in that patient population. I have published statistically historic papers in the field of orthopedics that you can read in my school group. Click on the VIP link below. On TikTok, if you have not, if you don't see that link, go to weltonmethods.com, WHELTON methods.com, and you can join my group, my free VIP group there. Okay, it's free. Anyways, so today I am talking about the exercise called Clams and how I find that to be absolutely pointless in my patients. Now, piriformis weakness is what Clams would be for, right? Piriformis weakness I don't find to be an issue except with sacral torsion, which is very common, okay? But it's for sacral torsion to happen, both piriformis muscles come and attach to the sacrum right here, and one got too strong, so therefore it rotated. And I find it's usually always the same side type situation, and therefore I almost always strengthen the right side. Like if you're going to strengthen the left side, send me the video. I want to see it. I don't know why it is. It just is. And I have a chronic low back, SI joint, sacral torsion, shear clinic, basically, is the main reason that people come to me. Now, okay. So people, when I do these videos, people will say, well, I do clamps and I do bridges and I do this and I do that. And you say that that's not effective. Okay. Now, this whole thing is not theoretical for me. So the people that are using my methods, click my school group below, my VIP school group for clinicians only to learn more. People that are using my methods, like a lot, like I hear from them all the time, and they're like, I just use your protocols, man, and I use your protocols, and that's that, and my patients get better, right? So, and that's part of the reason why these papers that I wrote on these issues became statistically historic papers in the field of orthopedics, getting multiple times, according to AI, even the New England Journal of Medicine and Lancet views every year, 3 to 5 years post-publication annually. It's still going. And so if you use my protocols, okay, so let's say you use my protocols for SI joint, okay? Now, with SI joint in the chronic SI joint world, I almost always find a sacral torsion with my left thumb translating anteriorly, so that means the sacrum's tilted like that, so you strengthen the right to bring it back, okay? Now, put that person in supine in a 90-90 test, okay, for their piriformis. Now, test the left versus the right. Now, what you should find is that the right side is weaker when they have a sacral torsion with chronic SI joint. And when you find that, why would you strengthen both sides? If one side is weak and the sacrum's torsioned because of the weakness, why would you strengthen the left side? You're just going to have a net zero gain, right? Strengthen right and left. It's just going to continue the problem, right? No, you strengthen the right side. You strengthen the right side only to bring it back, right? Okay, so let's take herniated discs, right? Now, generally, okay, so I read these MRIs all day long from these people. Most of my patients have been scanned up the wazoo. They've been told it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that, right? And then they come here, and I look at these MRIs, and sometimes I'm like I got this lady right now that's like severe herniations at multiple levels. And I'm like, and she's pain-free. I opened up her SI joints, rotated her sacrum back. Boom, she was out of pain. I'm like, oh, let's do the rehab. And she doesn't have any pain anymore. She's pumped, And then like a few visits in, she brings me this MRI report that I asked for. And I'm like, whoa, this is like, I read these all day, and it takes a lot to impress someone that reads something all day long. And I'm like, this is pretty bad, But I'm like, how's your pain? She's like, I don't have any, and I'm like, good for you, So she had herniated discs in her back, but her pain was coming from her sacroiliac joints and her sacral torsion, right? So I put her on my SI protocol, okay, which I published, and it's in my Rehab results course. Click on the school, free VIP school group below. And then but I do unilateral, like I just said, unilateral piriformis strengthening on the right side only, okay? And because she's tilted like that, so I bring it back like that, okay? Tested a 90-90 test. You'll see it. You'll see the asymmetry. It's pretty big usually. And so, but let's say I missed it. Let's say that the herniated disc was the problem, which I rarely find it to be unless it's coming down the legs into the foot type situation, right? I've had that before, but I don't find herniated disc to be the problem in the chronic failed everything low back pain world. I find it to be mechanical. SI joint sacral torsion shear, but they have these herniated discs, right? So that's what they've spent their time in the medical system addressing, right? But if I just put her on like Clams, like nothing would have happened. She wouldn't have gotten better, right? The patient is getting better right now, and she's almost totally better, right? So, and if you do that, you can test these things. My point in saying this is that this is not theoretical for me, okay? This is something that I can test and retest, right? In those papers that I wrote, published, click my school group below, my VIP school group, it's free. I showed remarkable results with these protocols, which is why they've gone viral all over the world and statistically made medical history and readership. But I use those protocols in here, so I get the similar results as in the paper. That was just trying to show you what I do in here that helps for each condition, right? So, but in none of those papers, in those papers I published, I mentioned Clams. And the reason why is because like you can try these protocols out for each condition, and then you can add something and then take it away and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Now, I argue that Clams can actually hurt you. And the reason why is because if you're on your back going like this and you have chronic SI joint dysfunction from out flares, you're jamming your out flares open and just shearing the SI joint. Okay, so I am not a fan of Clams. I am not a fan of that when it comes to low back pain. Okay, so for hip pain, one of the main things now, like let's say someone has surgery, right, and they have post-surgical weakness, right? Okay, fine, I get it. You can strengthen their piriformis muscles, whatever. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about addressing chronic pain issues, okay? So Clams is, I find to be a pointless exercise. Unilateral strengthening to the weak piriformis, which is, I see all day long in here, all day long. I actually will tell somebody, watch this, before I even have ever tested their piriformis muscles. That's how confident I am that their right side is going to be weak when I test. So I'll put them in a 90-90 test, and I have hold, and I try to pull them out, test their piriformis on the left, and then I go watch this, and I walk over to the right side and I test, boom, I can break it, and I'm like, that's why you have a sacral torsion, right? And which goes along with chronic SI joint. I see all the time in here, all day long. And these people are screwed in the medical system, they say. They're just like, I've tried everything, nobody knows what's wrong with me. And I usually have them out of pain, and people all over the world, and in the papers I published, usually have them out of pain immediately. In fact, I said not that long ago that I believe, after years of doing this and coming up with that SI joint diagnostic procedure, the sacral diagnostic procedure that I came up with, published it in my Rehab results course, click my group below, my free VIP group. I said that I believe that SI joint sacral torsion shear is the most common cause of back pain. and not herniated disc. And people that have been doing my methods for years commented below, I agree with you, I agree with you, I agree with you, I agree with you. I've been opening up SI joints. I can't believe it either. This is all like basically SI joint in my clinic now, you know? And but the issue was before is that there was no real way to diagnose SI joint, you know? Like, and I have patients that have the injection into their SI joint to test to see if it's SI joint. And they felt no relief, but then I realigned their upslip and outflare, and which I propose is causing SI joint dysfunction, and pain's gone immediately, you know? And I'm like, no, it's SI joint, you know? I'm like, I just realigned your SI joint, pain went away. So that means that it's SI joint. And inevitably the patients will say to me, well, what about this back pain? What about my herniated disc? And my answer to that is, did I touch your spine today? No, you didn't. I pulled on your leg. I gapped open your ASIS, and my evaluation procedure had him stand and do a ball squeeze after I got that upslip, and pain was gone. So how could that be your spine? If all I touched was your upslip, outflare, and then I rotate their sacrum back, how could it be your spine? How could that be? You know? And you know, so it's been a kind of a shock to me too over the years. So I get it if it's shocking to you what I'm saying, but it's been a shock to me over the years to see this, you know. And then I feel for these people because they're just stuck, you know, and no pun intended. They're stuck in the, you know, in the system, and they come here after years or decades, and it's SI usually, SI sacral torsion shear, and it was shearing bone pain in their back. I actually just did this video. I'm going to put it up. I asked my marketing team to cut it up. I put it up before the initial. This lady walked in with a quad cane walker. Okay, it took her like a minute go from here to this door right here, just like this, like that, right? I thought she was a stroke patient. Quad cane, right? And she just broke down like 2 people this week, 3 people last week. And she said, nobody knows how bad this is. Nobody understands what's wrong with me. She's like, I've had injections, I've chiropractic, physical therapist, you know the story. I call it the story. And she goes, nobody knows how bad this is. And I got this groin pain, my butt, my back, like I can't walk, I can't sleep, I can't do anything. When I asked her to roll over on the mat, she was screaming and wincing in pain. She was in so much pain, just trying to roll over on the mat, right? Because her SI joints were out of alignment. They were shearing. And she had shearing bone pain, right? And I actually just asked her, I did a 4-week where she was, but she was better. She could extend back and she was getting around better. And then yesterday she comes and she tells me she's dancing now, you know, after all of this, since I think she said 2019, of all this craziness, it was this. And she smiles. And that's my favorite part, is when they smile. Because usually you don't see the people in that much pain smile. And my favorite part is when they smile. So I took 3 videos before 4-week, 8-week, and I showed the severe debilitating low back pain from SI, how she's doing week 4 and how she's doing week 8. And she is doing remarkable. And she's dancing and she wants to get back into her active life. So good for her. But she was dismissed, she said, by countless people, you know, just, I don't know, you know, like, it's not that bad type thing on the x-ray and MRI. So, you know, but as soon as she walked in, I had a pretty good idea what was wrong with her, because anybody, not when I thought she was a stroke patient, when I opened the chart and I saw where she marked off her pain was, her hip, her groin, her back, her butt, right? It can go down the leg too, into the foot. I've seen it, causing weakness too. I documented that in my SI paper. And I said to her, she goes, nobody believes me. I said, I believe you. I said, I see this craziness all day long. So those of you that are using my SI evaluation method for chronic low back, hip, butt, groin, leg pain, all the symptoms of sciatica, that nerve issues, that I call the SI the great imitator of sciatica. God bless you, because you are saving so many people. I hear from you all the time. And I appreciate the comments, and other people read that. So the comments are important. Other people read that and say, hey man, all these people are talking about they're using this guy's free SI joint protocol, you know, let me give it a shot. And then their eyes open like mine did, like, whoa, man, you know, like this is everywhere, man. Like everybody's got this thing, you know? Anyways, that's that. Nabil, sir, wanted to join your mentorship of myofascial referral technique. Great. So I have a mentorship. You can join my free school group below, or go to my website, weltonmethods.com, and join the free group. In there, I have a clinical mentorship and a hybrid business clinical mentorship. So the clinical mentorship is you get 59% off all of my courses, my myofascial course, my sciatica cervical radiculopathy course, my Rehab Results Orthopedic Protocols course that I developed, any new innovations I make. Like I just made a really cool new innovation for SI joint, and but I'm teaching them that, okay? And then I have my cash-based business, which is I teach people how to open or run an extraordinarily successful cash-based business, focusing on these people, the forgotten people in the medical system that I don't find it hard to help, generally speaking. And my students that I teach, they don't find that it hard. They just use my protocols, and I teach the clinical part, and then I also teach the business part, how to open and run a business step by step by step, cash-based business that I teach people how you can make in a month what most cash-based businesses are making in a year. Okay, very different. Um, yeah, so Nabil, you join it's pinned to the top. How to pay for your course on school? It's pinned to the top, and then click on the one of the top ones, and where it says my advanced or hybrid business clinical course, and then there's a link there at the bottom that says join my advanced, my clinical VIP group. Okay, it's right there. Or you can go to my website, weltonmethods.com, and it's right there under mentorships. There would be the advanced clinical mentorship. Okay. Anyways, that's that. Other than that, I'm out of here. Love you all. Peace out.